Hey everyone, I am super excited to be here tonight, and I totally have been to TechTO since I talked at like the third one. But this is incredible to see how much it has grown over the last few years. But I'm gonna jump right into it and give you what you guys are here for and talk about Sheertex and the recent raise that we did and some things that I've learned over the last sort of decade of fundraising. So a little bit about me first. I'm an 8 times angel investor. Prior to Sheertex, I founded ShopLocket, which was a venture-backed startup that I sold to a multinational manufacturing company, PCH. I then went on to found Female Funders, which I sold to Highline Beta, and then the author of O'Reilly's book, Funded, An Entrepreneur's Guide to Raising Your First Round. So over the last decade, I've seen a lot of fundraisers, I've done a lot of fundraising, and a little bit about Sheertex and the current company. We are Y Combinator backed. We went through the batch that I think was demo daying exactly 1 year ago today. Coming out of that, we raised a $4 million US round, which was led by Founders Fund out of San Francisco. Other investors from the Canadian ecosystem include a lot of amazing angels like Joe Mimran, Michelle Romano, Dan DeBow, and lots of others. So I'm here today to talk to you about some of the lessons that I've learned going through the fundraising process. And some of you in the audience might have heard a little bit about this story before, but I think it was a couple weeks ago that I heard someone make this analogy. The idea being that when you're a startup founder, you're basically selling everyone on this insane journey, this expedition that you're setting out on. Imagine that you're recruiting, much like Christopher Columbus, to go on the first journey across the Atlantic. What would you tell people? Chances are we'll die. But if we don't, we're going to go down in history. And this is a little bit what it's like to be a startup founder, whether you are recruiting employees or recruiting investors. So I'm going to take this little analogy, this idea that you're basically telling people that this is probably not going to work, but, and it's that but and how you get people excited about where you're going. So 5 steps to recruiting investors on this insane journey. The first part is that you have to get people excited. You're making them go through a lot of risk to invest in you and to invest in your startup, so it has to be worth it. You have to make it clear that this is a journey worth taking. It's not just the next widget, the next thing, the next, buck that they're going to make. It's an adventure. A lot of investors, particularly early stage, invest in companies because they want to be part of something really cool. What are they going to learn along the way? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to the market if you actually succeed? This is a really incredible way that founders can get anyone on board with their vision. The second one is build confidence. So you can't just say, I have this crazy vision and it's going to be amazing. You actually have to make people believe. Think about it in the expedition. We actually have a ship, guys. There's provisions. It kind of works. It might maybe have some holes, but we'll patch them up. It's going to be okay. And this is you and your startup. You have to show that there's some metrics, that there's something there, that you've gotten it off the ground. You have to prove that you're someone wants to follow. And this is something that really sets CEOs who are really good at raising money from those that aren't. Because you have to be the one that people actually want to get onto the ship and go on this crazy adventure with. So you have to be that person that people know is going to do everything you possibly can to make sure that they won't die. Yes, very high likelihood. But you are going to make sure that you are going to do everything you can to make sure that that doesn't happen on your watch. And ways that you can do this if you have no track record or if you haven't worked with investors before is keep people updated. Show them what's happening. Keep them updated on your progress as you go and build up that confidence and that track record as you're moving through the community at events like this. Number 4, create urgency. This expedition is leaving with or without you. There is no doubt that this raise will happen, and you have to have that sort of confidence when you're going into a fundraise. So pick your timing carefully. Use social proof. By the way, your friends are coming. And this is a really, really important thing. Imagine going on that big expedition with no friends. It's really scary. But if you use names of people in the community that you've already got on board, so start with your closest people first and then move on, you'll be able to get people on board and build that social proof. So this is your startup as an expedition across the Atlantic. So think about that next time you're setting out to fundraise. It's just a quick slide. Help helps. Even though I've done this a few times, I always accept help, particularly free help. So these are different startup programs that my 2 companies have been through. Highly recommend them. We can post this on LinkedIn, maybe. And that was me, Katherine Hometh. So happy to answer any questions if you want to shoot me an email. I have to hop on a plane, but very happy to chat with anyone over email. So thanks.
Questions?
Speechless.
Yeah.
What made you decide to become an angel investor?
I just very much the story I was just telling, like, it's that journey. I love being part of that journey with other companies and hearing the ideas and watching them grow and being able to support friends. It was a $10,000 check from an angel that got my first company off the ground, and I wanted to be able to do that for other people as well.
What was the scariest experience you had in a fundraising meeting?
Scary experience in a fundraising meeting. Probably knowing that the meeting has to go right or the company's dead. Like, that's pretty scary. And maybe it's not that meeting, but the one next definitely needs to go well. And I think that's, as an entrepreneur, you have to kind of be super confident in these meetings and project the person that these people are going to follow and know that if it doesn't work out, you're going to like die. The company could die, but if you actually talk about that, you're not going to get the money. And it's really hard for a lot of entrepreneurs to battle that. And obviously you don't want to lie in the meetings either. But it's hard to have all of that on your shoulders.
One last question.
Oh, I don't know if this should be the last question, but
No pressure.
where are the pantyhose? Where can we buy them? This is a very necessary product.
That's an awesome question. They're at sheertex.com. I haven't made it yet, but I'll make it in the next 5 minutes. But I was going to make a $40 off coupon with TechTO. So
Okay, I want that coupon.
Yeah, we want you guys all to try them. And they're like seriously strong. Like no matter how hard you try, you're really not going to rip them. So I'll make that right now.
Cool. Thank you.